Welcome, Amakhosi Network. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be giving player reviews and summarize what the game was all about. And yeah, we're going to be chatting about that, about our beloved Kaizer Chiefs beating Stellenbosch 2-1 in yesterday's grinded out victory. I think my ratings today will also be a rating of grit, not a rating of that people had very good performances, if I have to be honest. But before we get into that, please like, comment, and subscribe. You know what it is. Subscribe. Let's go. Vuma actually had a good game. There was nothing you could do about the goal. I will give my 2 cents about the goal in terms of Vuma. Sometimes I understand how Vuma came out, but sometimes there's something Okune used to do when he came out, E2. And I think Ronwen Williams does that, is that they make their bodies big even if they are sliding. So they don't just slide how Vuma almost slept on the floor as if we are Lala. It's easier to score against a keeper like that than if he kind of slides but spreads his body a bit out. So in case there's a chip, your body can kind of like intercept the chip. But Vuma kind of slept on the floor, and that's just me. I'm just saying that is just me. That is a goalkeeping thing I've just seen from the better keepers. They tend to, even if they're sliding and are going to get the ball on the floor, they tend to like still raise their legs a bit, just to, in case the chip comes, it can knock their legs and stuff. But anyway, Vuma, I'm going to give a rating of 6.5. One would even want to give him 7 because there's a lot of shots he saved, even though it was more easier shots, long-range shots. There were long-range shots, and obviously Ubans almost scored another chance. But there were proper solid shots hit at Vuma in the game, and he did well. I think he saved us in a lot of those shots. So for that, I'm going to give him 6.5. Am I now going to say Chiefs doesn't need a goalkeeper? Oh, hell to the no. I'm not going to say that. Chiefs definitely still need a keeper. One good game does not mean Vuma is now the best keeper. But he is currently the better keeper out of the 3 keepers we currently have. The next one is Ditlokwe. Ditlokwe, I'm going to give a rating of 7. Ditlokwe worked, guys. If there's one guy who has made me so proud to wear a Kaizer Chiefs keeper in the past few weeks, it has to be Ditlokwe. Ditlokwe is being played in a position that is not too used to as left back, but the way the guy works, even if he's challenged, I think in the past few games he has actually been the player with the most passes as a Kaizer Chiefs player. He's the one who gets past the most, he's the one who opens the most, he's the one who has the most passes, but at the same time he's defending. You can tell that he's not the quickest, but he makes the effort to close spaces, to disrupt players. Like when a player like Devon Titus gave it his all yesterday, and yes, he won 1 or 2 battles in that, but it was not easy. You could tell that Devon Titus was also struggling with dealing with Ditlokwe. Ditlokwe, for me, even giving him a 7 feels like too small. Sometimes I even want to give him a 7.5 because of what he gives us at the back. The guy gave his heart out. He played like a captain. I won't lie. He played like a captain. And then Dudley, the first goal is also on him. Him and Cross are involved in that goal. Dudley, I'm going to give a 5.5. Yes, he did well here and there, but his mistakes these days keep causing us to concede, or he just makes very casual mistakes. Let me say that. Sometimes Dudley forgets that he's in a soccer match. I think he thinks he's playing in Phillies games or something like that, because some of the things he does, they just don't come across like a national team defender, But anyway, so that's why I'm going to give him 5.5. He did work hard. He did do some things. It's just his consistent lapse of concentration and his casualness, for me, is starting to be a problem. And it's also an indication sometimes of someone who is lacking a challenge in their position. You know, if someone is playing a position and they know they can never be taken out of that scheme, sometimes you see some of the performances that come out of Dudley. Miguel, I'm going to give a 5.5. No, Miguel, I'm going to give, 5.5. The one thing you guys need to note about Miguel knows who he is. What do I mean Miguel knows who he is? Miguel does not create fouls because he's dumb. No. Miguel creates fouls because he knows who he is. And when I say he knows who he is, whenever you watch Miguel's fouls, never look at them from a point of view, Guti, he's creating a foul because he's just an arrogant person. No. Miguel creates fouls because he knows who he is. Miguel knows he does not have pace, he does not have speed. So he knows if a quick player gets away from him, that player is going to get past him and is going to score. So Miguel decides to take the hit and create a foul. Because if you watch with Dudley, if Dudley is on the other side and that player does the same thing, Dudley does not foul that player because he believes in his pace. Even Msimango, when Msimango is our defender, if a player gets past Msimango will believe in his pace and not foul the player, but go after the player. But Miguel knows who he is and he knows, Guti, he will not let a player pass him. It's either Miguel gets the ball or he gets the player. Miguel is an old school defender. It's the ball or the player. He does not live in this business. You go to two people, the player must pass with the ball. Miguel does not live in that world. You pass alone, or you leave the ball, or no one passes. That is Miguel's attitude. And as bad as it has looked, it's actually a good trait to have. It's a good trait to have because what tends to happen is that when we've watched Abo Msimango and Abo Dudley, when they tend to find themselves in that position, sometimes they believe in their pace too much, then they want to slide. Then when that player gets past the slide, they're one-on-one with Ubvom. And that's one thing I want you guys to understand about what Miguel is as a defender. That's why I want to give him a 5.5 and or 6. It just depends. Blom had a solid performance. I'm going to give him a 6 to 6.5. Solid performance there. The only problem I had with Blom, I didn't really have a problem with Blom. But the only thing is that you could tell he needed someone who wants to play ball with him. And I feel like in the first half that lacked. We didn't have someone. So you could see the boy is frustrated. I think there was a number of times he took the ball and even ended up running into the middle. And he was shouting at players yesterday. Like, Blom for me yesterday played more as a captain than Matt. Because Blom kept shouting at Abom Du, at Abo Duba, at Abom Matt, and Abom Teto to say they can't just chill. They need to open for them to find spaces because it's difficult for them to move the ball if these guys are static. He's like, make the run, make an effort, like open up. And that's one. He gave me a captain's performance yesterday. I won't lie. Tetra, I'm going to give a 6.5. Mteta showed grit and heart. Yes, Mteta is not good in passing the ball and stuff like that, but it's not what he's forced to do it because Matt is off. If Matt is off, if Matt is playing well, if Matt is in the game and playing well, Mteta doesn't have to do the things that he does because they don't come to him naturally, but he does them because he's forced. Because like I mentioned in the previous video, Mteta is a player who takes ownership. Even if he knows it's not good enough, he will take ownership of a problem. That is one thing I like about Mteta. Mteta won't just say, I'm bad today, or I'm bad at going forward, so I won't go forward. No, if he sees that there's a need for him to participate in going forward, he will go forward. And that's on Mteta. He plays with heart and grit. Matt, 3. Even I, 2. Non-existent, doesn't exist. The less I can talk about Matt, the better. Disgrace to wear captain's armband. I have nothing against Matt, but the guy offers us nothing, and I I don't know how he's still wearing a Kaizer Chiefs jersey. Is Matt good enough to play in the PSL, to play for Cape Town City, Sekhukhune, and all of these teams? Yes. He's definitely good enough for SuperSport. He will even do much better. He will be a better Matt at SuperSport. But at Kaizer Chiefs, no. Mdu Shabalala, 4 to 4.5. Had movement, decision making. Movement, yes, decision making poor as usual. But like I said, we cannot put all the pressure on one player. He needs help, which you saw when he got to Mfundo Vilakazi. The one player I forgot to mention is Cross. Cross, I am going to give a 1. Cross was bad in everything. He was bad in attack. He was bad in defense. His presence just made Chiefs bad. And I'm going to be honest and say this. It's not Cross's fault. It was Nabi's fault. That one was on Nabi. Starting Cross was Nabi's fault. I don't know why Nabi forced Cross into the starting lineup, but he loves Cross for whatever reason he loves Cross for. But now he has almost broken the boy. We saw the boy images where it looked like he was crying. And that one is on Nabi. Nabi must take this one. Nabi, if Cross never comes back for this and struggles to put on the Chiefs jersey again, it's Nabi. You must also learn how to protect your players, man. Hey. But anyway, Duba, excellent performance. I am going to give him an 8. Yes, here and there he could have done better, but it's good to see him playing in his position. When Duba plays in his position, we see the best out of Duba. Duba, I've been saying it for a couple of seasons now, that I feel like out of the 3 strikers we have, Dupree, Ranga, I think he's the better one just because of his presence in the box. He can get to the box. He's also somewhat of a ball player. He knows how to have the ball at his feet. And that's something about Ranga doesn't have. The only thing Duba doesn't have is a hold-up play. But that's not his game. That's not his game. Dupree had an injury, so I'm choosing not to really give him a rating. It's unfortunate, yeah. Botsane played a big part of the game because him and Vilakazi entered early. Botsane first half didn't really give us much. He even in the first half, I'll even argue to say he didn't even help the Tlokwe much. But second half, you felt Botsane's presence in the game. Like, I honestly felt Botsane's presence in the game. Botsane had a good second half. And even if his second half wasn't the fact that he created chances and stuff like that, but once we got the goal, his work rate, how he was running after covering the left back position, how he was taking the ball up front and connecting, sharing Ama 1-2, intercepting the ball. His grit was something, it was very good to see. And then Mfundo Vilakazi, top quality assist. So Botsane, I'm going to give a 6. Mfundo Vilakazi, I'm going to give a 6 to 6.5. Mfundo's only impact in the game was really the assist. But other than that, he didn't really have much movement. He was often static. One would think I must give him a lower rating, but it's good that he had the awareness to find Uduba. But Mfundo needs to develop his game in terms of movement. I feel like Mfundo plays like a scared player. It's like he's not playing. He's scared to make mistakes. It feels like he's scared to make mistakes. But the one thing I'll give to him is that he combined well with Blom. So I think that looked a bit better than a Duba and Blom and a Duba and Frosler. He looked way better than them. So it's definitely an upgrade to have a creative player on the wing. The one other thing I wanted to add about Mfundo Vilakazi and Duba is not Mfundo Vilakazi and Du Shabalala. The one negative these two have in their game, especially because of their size, and Duba actually doesn't have this problem because he's a bit stronger than most of the youngsters. But Du Shabalala and Mfundo Vilakazi, their biggest problem is they make the wrong moves. Du Shabalala and Mfundo Vilakazi should not think that they're playing their peers in the PSL. The people in the PSL are often stronger than them, but they often make moves that need a strong player. And I think that's a very big negative. The one thing that they should be learning, and I'm going to make this specific to Rele so people can understand, and even Nkota, is that Nkota and Rele never put themselves in a position where they're going to compete with someone with pace. No. What they do is that, and this is training a player, is how you accelerate with the ball. Meaning that they choose to beat someone with pace and get in front of them. Mdu Shabalala does not beat someone with pace. He just starts the move, then think good he can body check the guy. And that is, we saw there he was just bouncing off with Tor. So the one thing he must learn in his game is acceleration of the ball. So accelerate past Torre and get in front of him immediately. He must foul you from the back. And that's what Rele does. Rele and Nkota, acceleration from a standing position, etc., is almost like watching Lamine Yamal sometimes. That acceleration is what forces a strong player to have to do things that doesn't display their strength, but by a kappa in essence. And then, the last rating I'll give is it was good to see Matlo. I wanted to say Matlo is back, so it's good to see him. He had good first touches. It would have been, this was not the game for him, I understand, but I'm excited that he's back. Nabi's rating for me, I am going to give him a 7. And I know I want to give him a lesser rating, but I'm giving a 7 for reacting to his mistake of cross. That reaction that Nabi made is actually what won him the game. Substituting cross in the first half is what got Nabi 3 points. Amakhosi.